live, going live, going live. I think I'm live on YouTube. Hopefully that is working, and I'm gonna go live on IG. Let's go live here. I'm live. I don't know if I should have checked something differently to use the reminder, so I don't know. It's a work in progress, let's say. Okay, so I think things are working well on YouTube. I hope you're getting the audio and everything is going well over there. And here as well, I hope it's working. I see that Instagram is saying that still warning people or letting people know that that I'm live. Okay. All right. All right. YouTube is good. I did like the fastest announcement ever on Discord. I tweeted about it as well. I don't know. There's always something missing. Today's been a bit last minute. All right, I see that IG is going now. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So for today, what I'm gonna do is lately I've had like an art obsession, something I'm working on, and I cannot stop doing them. These art pieces, these kind of drawing. It's completely different from what I do with the cubists, and it's fun. Like it's fun to find some variety and work in the work. So I'm exploring this. I'm also working on some cubists. I think you will see one on my iPad that is coming soon. But I am excited for this kind of work that I'm doing. So I'm just gonna flip my camera and start creating. Hold on. All right, here. YouTube, just bear with me for a second there. Oh, I think my sound is on. Just have to find the position here. Position that works for everyone. Okay. What I'm gonna do is also put the live here on my phone so I don't have to switch over to see questions or anything. Sorry, a lot of last minute setting up. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, now I have it on my phone too. Hey, Nicole, welcome. You can kind of see my iPad. I mean, it could be a better view, I guess, but then if I push it more, I cannot draw. So this is the way it has to be. Okay, I think we're just family tonight. Me, Bree, Nicole, and Marcus. Awesome. Okay, we got some other people joining. That's all right. We love everyone. Marcus, don't get me started with those lemons. I'm gonna send you a care package that I'm preparing. So here, this is my latest obsession. I've created a lot of these already. Is this kind of drawing? So it's like a flowy line work that just goes on without much thinking, and then the color comes and everything else. I have many of them. I'll give you all a sneak peek on all of these. There are a ton. First, I did mainly like just the lines, and then I went back to them and I thought I would try painting them. So I did this kind of painting, and then I wrote some words and gave them like titles. Hey, Manda, welcome. Nice to see you here. I'm kind of showing a little bit of my latest obsession, which is creating these pieces, which is something completely different. It's going to be a completely different collection of NFTs, but it's what I'm working on at the moment. So this one I did it on purpose to create it in a way that it doesn't seem to be facing the right way. I thought it was an interesting, a different take. There's this one, which is kind of a more constrained painting. And this one. Oh, here's the cubist that will be up soon. And I have some line work that I'm still going to paint. And we have a blank canvas for today. And I'm hoping to create something like this just to show a little bit of the process. And the process of this one is like super quick compared to creating a cubist, for example. At least the first part. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I have like I really love it, but I understand if people have like mixed feelings because it's a bit odd, but I like it. And the process for these ones is just like a bunch of lines. Like I just keep on going, and then where I will put like more of a thought process will be in the painting aspect of it. But it's a much more intuitive art and much more yeah, it's just like a based on the feeling of it and the flow rather than thinking about the right lines like I do with the cubist, for example. Marcus asked, how long do these new ones take to make? So you're gonna see today. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. Hey, Chicholina. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish it, but it's the process is a lot quicker than creating a cubist, just because it's much more stream of consciousness rather than everything is thought out and planned ahead. All right, so let's do one. Maybe I need a bigger iPad. And a lot of this is like, I don't really think much about what I'm doing. It's just seeing the shapes and going with it. And then when I start seeing some shapes, then that's when I start adding things and like creating around what I'm seeing. But at first, it's just like some lines, and then they start making sense in my head, and then I start adding like more. Sometimes my pen stops working. I don't know why. I wish you could hear this sound, but I don't think the sound of the pen is loud enough. This is like a wild style. It's fun though. It's like so liberating. Actually, I liked that. Bring it back. Oh, I need to turn off the sound of my Discord. I hope the sound is okay on YouTube. And sometimes I see things, but I realize that, like, they are probably not that recognizable, but that's not really the point, so I don't care. Like, no one else sees the shapes or the like figures that I'm seeing. That's fine. And then we add a bunch of stuff. Hey, my mom is here, and Zokoli, welcome, welcome. Tars also here. Happy to see everyone here. Don't forget, as usual, DM me for the POAP. It's gonna be one of these wild things. They still have some of the same kind of things that I use in the Cubist, but just some things. The rest is a lot more just wild stuff. Yeah, DM for the POAP. Miss Manda, I love that she's saying hi to my mom and helping out. Thank you, Amanda. Everyone's great. No, see, like in a few seconds or like less than a minute, the first part of it is already done. It like I don't know, art is not about like how much time you spend on something, and sometimes like great pieces can happen very quickly, and other times it takes forever. I'm probably making a lot of weird faces on you. I forget that my face is there. Yeah. Yeah, I've had some POAP hunters come, but they usually don't. Like, they just start DMing me or going on Discord and DMing me there. Desperate for a POAP. I don't know. I don't know what these people are hoping for. Kind of want to add something here, but nothing is working. Oh, I know. I'm gonna add something. work, this kind of work is a lot of like mark making, and I am actually pretty excited about these. I am like, I feel like they have a lot of emotion behind it, and maybe they are capable of evoking these emotions too. I'm hoping, like, evoke some emotions. Obviously, we all feel things differently, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Okay, so Marcus asked, POAP hunters are a thing. And yes, they're like people, I mean, humans are funny. Like, we get attached to things and we do very weird things. And there's like this thing, there are these people that we call POAP hunters because they just like are desperate for POAPs. Like, I think they track the POAPs that are minted on the website because you can sort of see everything. Like, that's the thing about blockchain. It's very transparent, so you can see everything. So I think they keep checking like the POAPs that are being created, and they just go after where wherever they are to try and get POAPs. But like POAPs, they don't have any monetary value because they are free, and you can just, they are collectibles that you take from events that you participate in, so it's kind of a memento of that event, and you collect them to remember that you were there, like a ticket for from a concert. So it's nice to have if you were there, but it doesn't have much value outside of your like good time you had there. And I don't know, these people just hunt for POAPs, and they try to get as many POAPs as they can. And the POAPs just sit on their wallets because you cannot do much with them. And yeah, that's the thing. My one guess is that they are hoping that either that thing is going to have some value in the future, but also maybe they're secretly hoping that the POAP people, the creators of it, are going to do some kind of airdrop, which, like in the NFT space, companies tend to do that for marketing. So they send you like some free money or something. Maybe the people that have more POAPs are going to get more of the free money. And that's just like my imagination of what could be potentially um, beneficial to have POAPs. Softly asked me if I'm gonna mint this one. So if anyone is not familiar, minting is the process that you go through when you want to create an NFT out of something. So minting is basically when you put that thing on a blockchain. So I'm thinking of creating like a new collection and having just these. So it would be like exclusively these kind of works. I'm not sure yet what to call it. I'm like thinking of some names and some ideas because I know what I would write about each piece because they do, like I said, to me, they do evoke some emotions and some things. So I do have that in mind, but for the entire collection, I'm still like thinking what to call it. But yeah, definitely one day this is going to be a piece. This is going to be an NFT. Hey, Alyssa, thank you. Thank you for dropping by just to send me some love. I appreciate it. And Marcus asked, how does your mindset differ when creating these versus the cubist? So, to me, the cubists involve a lot of thinking before creating the cubist, whereas with something like this, even the other ones like this, the thing happened first, and then like the lines happened first, and then on that, as they were happening, my mind, like my feelings and everything, is going through it, and I'm sort of defining the piece as I go. So I've named all of these throughout the process. It wasn't the feeling that I didn't think about like I want to evoke or to represent this feeling. Now let me draw something. You just start drawing something. What am I feeling? X, and then okay, so that's what this piece is sort of about. So it's backwards from the cubist, which is, I think there's a lot more thought process behind the cubist, whereas this is a lot more of like an intuitive feeling and less thoughts. Of course, they happen, like I can't help it. Like when I start seeing a figure, I start going that way because I want to see that figure there. So it's very hard to shut it down completely, but yeah, it's definitely much more intuitive. And I rarely, when I'm doing these, it's hard for me to like want to completely change something because I often can't, because I've done the same line for so long that if I erase it, I'm gonna erase all of it or most of it. So then I have to deal with the mistakes in that sense. Quote unquote mistakes, just things that I didn't like at first. And then I have to adapt. And I paint everything in 1 or 2 layers or 3 layers tops. So I paint on top of things, which means again, like I cannot just erase things. I just have to work through them. Whereas the cubist, the cubists, I try to, even though they seem like crazy, I often try to perfect the lines in the way that I want them to be, or the colors, or I would test a bunch of colors and a bunch of things. So I think it's a big difference. Like it maybe doesn't seem much. It's just for the creative process, it's a huge difference. And it's liberating too. Like it's good for the mind, I find, to experience this. And for the colors, I just throw them there and see what works. It's usually colors that I like, though. I'm biased. Sus asked me, do you use Photoshop later after you're done creating on Procreate? No. I use Photoshop just if I need to resize something. That's about it. I try to do all of the work here on Procreate. If I was using like images, like photos and other things, like I would definitely use Photoshop with it, because I find that Procreate, when I add actual photos of things, the quality just isn't completely there. But other than that, I try to do all of it here. Oh, for my March, I am using a little bit of Photoshop to try and match the colors a little bit better to the printing process. but not the artwork. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I can erase a little bit of it, like little sections. I just decided this is gonna be a different color. And I mean, you saw the other pieces, so there's a lot more color coming. Completely at random, and like what I want to, like, if I look at it and I think, yeah, that works, I'm just going for it. And if I look at it and I think, maybe it doesn't work, then I'm changing it. The reason I try to work faster is just so that my brain cannot interrupt with all the thoughts. I think I don't want any color here, actually. I'm going to come up with this here. Sometimes the colors don't work right away, but then as I keep going, the eyes adjust and it becomes something interesting. Maybe not the best thing, but interesting. And then we can tweak it. Sus asked me, so the cubists are all done on Procreate, the NFTs of the cubists. Yeah, everything is on Procreate. From beginning to end, then I export from Procreate to my computer, and I upload them. Well, I used to do that. So I used to export to my computer and upload to OpenSea. And now I export them to my computer and I upload them to my own smart contract, and then that goes to OpenSea. So there's one added step. Slightly changing this color. This is kind of like, you know, those like shrink things. Like, when you look at this, what do you see? And then you say you see something. And that's kind of like what I'm gonna name the piece. Like, what do you see? Yeah, like this color. Oh, Hugh. Hey, welcome. Nice to see you. It's nice to see everyone around. I couldn't be here last week, and I'm not going to be here for the next 2 weeks because I am going on a trip with my dad Well, my wife and his wife, but I'm just saying because he's the one that came up with it. So we're traveling a little bit. I haven't seen him in a while. So this will be fun. So now what I'm thinking, like there's gonna be a lot more layers of colors, but what I'm thinking is like the base colors, if I'm gonna keep them like this or if I'm gonna change them, and also to try and find the white spaces a little bit more. So here's, then I'm gonna make this character darker blue. Yeah, that. Okay, that's more interesting to me. Zocoli said that if I make merch with this one, he's gonna buy it. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. You know, I kind of have mixed feelings about merch, as in making clothes like apparel, because the fabric is very hard for the color to come through, so it would never look like this. So for fabric, I might just do the outline. That might be something interesting to me. And then for everything else, like prints and um, mugs and all of those things, then I'm definitely gonna do this because it's gonna look like really bright and really colorful, and it's gonna be pretty cool. So Marcus asked, for these ones, if you see a mistake, do you leave it and see if it works as the piece grows? Yeah, like if I make like one tiny mark that I don't like, I will undo it if it was the last thing I did. And because I'm using digital, I can do that. But if I go about it and like later on I find that I don't like something, I just keep going forward and I can try to tweak it and see how it progresses. I am trying with these pieces to not focus so much on what I personally like, if that makes sense. I'm trying to focus more on what happens, and yeah, like trying like a different take on my art, which is something hard for me because I do like to make everything correct, like in the lines. Like when I make the cubits, everything is like perfectly together, perfectly quote unquote, like something that I look at it and I don't see anything standing out in the wrong way. Whereas this, as you can see, it's like a mess in a good way, in the sense of just looking at what works for me. When I look at it, what do I feel? See, sometimes I erase things, like if I do them and then I'm like, oh no, this doesn't work well for me. I just erase them, but Luniva, I don't know. I forgot how to pronounce her name. It's Luniva, I think. I think you said it like that. I'm not sure. On your live. Says hi. Thank you. Hi. I loved what she did today during your live. The watercolor with the splatters and everything looked great. Okay, this is like just one color. I want to go to the next one because that's when I think things start looking even more interesting. I'm just gonna make this I want this to be like darker. So I'm gonna just, and this brush that I use is kind of like a watercolory kind of thing. I said it right. Okay, yay. I hate pronouncing people's names wrong. All right, so okay, this would be sort of the first layer of color, and now the second one, which I think it's pretty cool, is this brush, which is like this brush has a lot of texture. Let me see if I can show it. Not as clear here, maybe. Oh, yeah, can you see? Like, it has a lot of texture. So what I do is make it smaller, but then, and it's a slightly different color than this one, so now we just go around it. Freedom, baby, freedom. This is like, you know what this is like? This is like those art documentaries. You just see like the artist going mad, and it feels like that. And I cannot wait to do one of these as a painting. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Oh, thanks. I'm glad she loves my art. I really appreciate it. So I try to go in with a darker color than the one I had and a brighter one. I cannot push it too hard because otherwise the brush loses the texture. No rules. Hey G, thank you for coming. DM me later for a POAP, and everyone that is joining can DM me as well to get a POAP. Thank you. I'm glad you like this new technique, this new look. Something I'm exploring. It's exciting. There will be also some like erasing going on because I do like some parts of it to be white. I think though it really helps things sort of stand out when you have all the color and then you have this empty spaces. Not so much empty because they do have lines, but a little bit more empty. Sometimes the darker is not that necessary, but we'll see. I'm very curious to see like people to see what people think about these because I know it's a different art style and it's not for everyone. It will be exciting to see who goes more towards something like this and who goes more to the cubists or other things. I have many things planned. I have many things in my ideas book. I like to use. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know. I'm finding I'm biased, but I'm very obsessed with these these kinds of pieces, and I'm finding them like really interesting and different to look at. Because I've seen like people working with lines and people working with this kind of um, different figures, but I don't know. I feel like when I look at these, I'm looking at something different. I'm excited and I'm obsessed. Obsessed is the right word. I think only this week alone I drew like all of the ones that I showed. I think it was 1 week or 1 week and a half. Just like non-stop. Every time I get a chance to go to my um to get to my iPad and draw a little bit, I'm drawing these weird things. All right, so I did a little bit of this other layer, and now I'm thinking to move on to the next thing, which is okay. I think we got another 15 minutes. This might be done by then, or almost done. I think I might add some more things here and there later, but okay. Now, we're gonna add some more lines and stuff, but on white. Not everything gets some white outline, just some. Just some of the stuff. And again, like this is, it's just intuitive. My eyes look at it and they go like, yeah, here. And I just go with it. I feel like my iPad is gonna not withstand me for much longer because I just put so much pressure on this. I can see the screen kind of bending. And I know I shouldn't be doing it, but it's like, I can't help it. I'm making my art. You know that. I'm making art, Mom. Yeah, I think this is looking pretty interesting so far. The colors are wild. And I'm happy about it. Like, that's not a complaint thing. And now, like, I looked at it, and to me, the word that came to mind is like, it's recognition in the sense that one character is being seen by another character and recognizing their presence in the world. their existence. That's one thing that came to mind. And it might end up being the name of the piece. I don't know. For everyone watching there, like, are there any words that come to mind? No pressure. Nothing comes to mind. That's completely fine. That's just my vibe. This kind of art. But let me know if something comes to mind. I would love to know. Here's how it's looking at the moment. I think you can get a good look there. Oh, it's crooked, but Marcus said, loving this commentary as well as the art. Thank you. You know, like, to be honest, when I finished the live, I don't even know what I said. So, if you say you're enjoying it, I will take your word for it and I will believe it. And yeah, if you like it and you're happy, that's good. I did one thing that I didn't like to do because I like to do the white add-ons on another layer, but I forgot and I just did everything on one layer. That just means that if I want to change any colors underneath, I'll just have to work a little bit harder on it. But I think I'm keeping this color. Just gonna add some texture with these, but now I have to be careful not to go too much over the white because it's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. This is very jazz art to me. Yeah, it does have that feeling, doesn't it? Like, can hear, maybe you can hear the music from it. We need another childhood story. I don't think I have any stories today. I don't know. Nothing came to mind yet. No confessions. My mom was here. Maybe she could bring a story. Hey Jay, welcome. Thank you for joining. You know, I do have a story about art and about something that I used to do to learn how to do things. I always watched a lot of TV, and when I think I was a teenager, yeah, around that time, I watched Miami Ink. It's like those reality TV shows. That one was about tattoo artists, and they had the shop and they would, tattoo people. Obviously during that phase I wanted to be a tattoo artist because that was me. I would watch something and I would want to be that. I watched ER, I wanted to be a doctor, then I watched Miami Ink and I wanted to be a tattoo artist. So that's how usually things went. And with Miami Ink, I really liked some of the drawings they used to make. And I don't think, well, the internet was a thing, but it wasn't as much of a thing as it is now. So for some of the things, I used to put a paper on the TV screen. I would try to pause it, or I don't remember how I did it. I think I would record it and pause it or something like that. And I would take those transparent papers to trace, and I would put on the TV and trace over the drawing that they were making to create the tattoo of the person. And so that I would have something to draw. So that I would like, that was my way of trying to understand how they were creating those lines and how they were, you know, creating what they were creating. And I used to do that a lot, like just copying with a paper on top of the TV and just going over it, tracing everything, and then I had it on my hand. And then I could like transfer to a paper, and then I could replicate it and try again and again and again and learn how to do it eventually. That's how I learned how to do like a koi fish in a like a tattoo style. I used to draw a lot of these. I don't know, you know, obsessions. They just happen. Gonna add some more white here. And I did that a lot. I traced a lot of things to learn. I think that was how I learned. Since I couldn't watch the person drawing everything, I had to like put a paper on something and just trace over it so I could understand how the lines were forming that shape. Thanks to you find it creative. Yeah, I mean it was a one way of learning, I guess. I think this piece is practically done. I'm gonna have a look at the others and see if there are any other um, interest points that I've done on others that I would like to add on this one. You can see like they have a slightly different feel, but same style overall. See, this one I added some white lines on top of the black, which I like. I kind of feel like it's another person doing the, because I can't even remember what I did. I'm gonna do that here as well. I'm gonna add some white lines on top. So here, here, the same. Not that, not that. Yeah, that. Mm. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop because we have to know when to stop too. Otherwise, we just keep on going and there are some different ones here. G said, "Oh, I love that blue one." I'm glad you guys like this story. It's just, I don't know, some things that we do when we were kids are just funny. Yeah, I think this one is pretty much done. I might go back later and just make some parts of it a bit darker on the side here. to bring in the focus a little bit more to the center. But I think the piece is done. Yeah, I don't know why I'm obsessing over these lately, and I don't know, we'll see. Like in art, I think we need to remember that as artists, we make things for ourselves first, in the sense of it's coming from us, and yeah, we need to keep making them thinking of, or not thinking, but feeling for ourselves first, right? And not just do things because we think other people might like it. Because I find that can have when that starts happening, it's easy for us to sort of lose track of why we're making art, why we're drawn to it, and why we make it. So it's always good to explore things and dive into things, even if you feel like people might not respond to it in a way that you would like them to, and just go with it. That's my art wisdom for the day. Okay, I'm glad you guys liked it. I'm super happy to see you all here. I'm gonna give you like a closer look here with IG, and you can see it on YouTube. I think you can see it pretty well, but you can see it from up close. We have some textures going on, some different colors, and yeah, just this wild thing. This wild one, hand, and this wild one. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a great time doing this today. It was a bit last minute, a bit of a mess at first, but I'm happy that we did it because I'm gonna be off for 2 weeks and I'm not gonna be here. So it was good to hang out for today. And hopefully, when I come back, we can do it again and keep on creating. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. And if you want a POAP, DM me because my memory sucks and I often forget. Thank you so much and have a great weekend, everyone. Bye. Oh, Marcus, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad. YouTube looks great. I think I figured out what was going on, what was wrong. So I think it's good. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. And YouTube, my two favorites. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to end the live stream.